I say, I don't know. Hopefully, I see you and Benjamin, y'all not having any connection issues. So I'm hoping that nobody else is having connection issues as well, too, getting up into space.
Check them updates, because there was an update. I think it was about 3 days ago.
Yeah. Silva, are you having any connection issues? We know we had a couple people in and out the space. People, I don't know if people might be having some connection issues. I'm hoping. I know I did get an update yesterday, so I updated mine yesterday. So I don't know. I know I should be straight, but you just know how things are with the internet and everything else as well too. So you never know. But this is a topic tonight. I definitely want to touch up on the thing with Barack Obama, his the actual delineation process. It actually really started to kick off when Obama became president of the United States. So I want to go ahead and touch up on that, the delineation, the strike against Pan-Africanism, because it seemed like there was a major push. There's been a major pushback against Pan-Africanism, at least for the last 5 years or so. Been a major pushback. So I want to know and see what a lot of people think as well too. Do they feel like maybe the Obama administration may have something to do with that as well too? With the Obama legacy. And I hold Silver said this is what it keeps saying, and it says, "Did Obama the delineation process show?" So I guess like Silver, was only showing me and you up in the actual space as well too. So I don't, Silver, you're up in the space. I don't know. Like I said, you know how X is up here, X Twitter. You know how janky this thing could be up in these spaces as well too. So I see more about people popping in. I'm hoping that they don't have any connection issues, but. Shout out to you guys real quick. Professor, hold it real quick. I'm going to see if I can clear the cache in this thing or something. I don't know, but hold it real quick. You got it, Professor?
Okay.
Yeah, guys. I got the
people. Family, the ones that are in here. I see Silver, Benjamin. I see y'all both up in here. Hopefully, man, this space is going to be all right tonight, so we can go ahead and get through it and get through the topic. And as more of the family start coming in, we want to make sure that this space is going to be smooth. Smooth sailing, baby. Smooth sailing.
Yeah, that's Professor y'all here in the background, guys. I'm just trying to make sure that the cache and everything is cleared out. I don't know what's going on. People popping in and out the space. Yeah, I know people been popping in and out the space. Only thing I could do next, I could go ahead and clear the actual if I clear the actual the storage thing, then that'll end up ending the space real quick. So I don't know if I should go ahead and do that. I'm thinking about it because our people popping in and out, they not seeing themselves up in here. So that's a possibility, Professor. I'm thinking about it.
Then just go ahead and do it. Start up a new space, man. We'll be watching to see when you get the new space up.
All right. Give me a second real quick. I'm gonna see like I said, with this X thing, I don't know what the hell be going on with it, but let me see real quick if I gotta give me 1 second. Keep everybody entertained. Yeah, just keep it going, Professor. I'm gonna see real quick what's up.
Okay.
Because I don't know exactly. I don't know.
Family, so we're just trying to see if this space is gonna run smooth right now. It seems to be. We notice people are coming in and out. They coming in, but then they all of a sudden.
Okay, it did. I'm trying to see because I just cleared the storage, so I may have to restart this entire space over again, guys. I may have to start the entire space over again because, let me see.
So you need to update your app. That can cause issues. You don't check these updates. So make sure you have updated your X.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Update your you gotta start updating these you gotta start updating these phones and everything or whatever you gotta do because it's not the people's phones, it's just the actual app itself. I'm gonna have to go ahead and probably restart this thing back up because I think it closed the space out. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and restart it back up. Professor, can you hear me? Yeah. Let me see about the actual we're trying to get this thing running again, guys. I do apologize, but this is X. Yeah, I know. And DJ, he's talking about the update on. I don't know why the update. You know, they talk about updating the damn thing, and it's worse than before when you do update the damn thing. So, can you hear me, Professor? Can you guys hear me? Okay, the actual space. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you a little bit, Total.
Am I do I sound far away from you?
Okay, now you sound clearer, man, because when you first came in, man, you sound kind of muffled.
Okay. So everything I've tried, I had to clear the storage and everything. So hopefully, everything, if you guys can hear me in the space, if you guys are having connection issues like Val, Miss Cleo, if you guys are having any connection issues, put your hand up and let me know, because I just tried clearing the storage in this thing, and hopefully, Keith, you having connection? I see you gave 100. Is that yes? You having connection issues, or about you, Val, Miss Cleo? You guys, is everything? If everything is good, give me a 100 sign or whatever. I guess. Give me a 100 sign if everything is good. Oh, I guess everything's not good. Okay, Avenge has got his hand up. Miss Cleopatra, Silver, can you guys hear me? Are you guys having connection issues in the space still? Okay. Hopefully, it's kind of hard to say, guys. I'm gonna try to go ahead and I want to get everybody into this thing tonight because I want to talk about the actual Obama legacy and everything that goes along as well too. So I want to actually talk up on this. We got Silver coming up here. Silver, let me go ahead and let you get up here. Sylvia, how you doing?
Hey, what up? Is your app doing something crazy? Like it's as I sit down there and listen, you know, it keeps kicking me out and it keeps telling me that the space has closed. But it's working now that I'm up here speaking. So I guess I'm gonna just stay right here. It's like when I'm down there listening, it just keep kicking me out saying the space is closed.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's strange. So you need to contact the support to let them know. It's like that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything they could do right now while the space is going, but yeah, when I started the space, I started seeing people coming in and popping out and stuff like that as well too. So I was wondering exactly what I said. Well, here we go. It started off with when I tried to get Professor to co-host. It started off saying that you can only give 2 people to co-host. I'm like, well, I only gave 1 person to co-host as well too. So man, oh man, and this is an issue and a topic I want to touch up on. Miss Cleopatra was dropping she was dropping all kind of notes today in preparation of this space as well too. I want to get her opinion on the Obama legacy and the delineation and the pushback against Pan-Africanism. If you guys remember back in 2008 when Obama became president, you know, in the 2009 inauguration, there was a sense of I see Keith said keep leaving to hear the speakers. Yes, no audio. Let me try one more time, guys, and close this thing out and see if I can get the audio. Hold on, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So the people still are having issues on X. People are still having issues on X. X is run like a piece of garbage, to be honest, y'all. It is really run like a piece of garbage now. And sometimes I wonder if this stuff may not be deliberate in the way they target these black spaces.
Check in the Google store, or if you have an Android, I forgot what they call it in the Android.
What about now, guys? Can y'all hear okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Newstoter, but yeah, I'm telling them to update. Make sure they check the updates on the app too.
Yeah, everybody, you got to check those updates because, like I said, I don't know. I just updated yesterday and cleared the cache out and everything else. So you guys got to check. There was a bunch of updates through Google yesterday. But I wanted to talk about, while I got the people in here, I want to talk about the actual legacy of Barack Obama and the pushback that may have came from the actual Obama presidency in terms of Black unity global, how Black people, Black Americans see themselves, how Black people outside of America see themselves as well too. When Obama became president, you know, everything was about hope and it was about change and it was about a new day and a new forging a new future for America and getting past the so-called post-racial history of America. And everybody, you know, when Obama came in office, everybody had high hopes for him. Everybody said, you know what, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. You know, we actually believe now that America has a chance to actually to take it to a whole nother level. You had so many people. I can remember seeing legendary people at his inauguration. I remember seeing Bill Cosby. I remember seeing all kind of celebrities that people were crying because he had just accomplished something that nobody in the history of this country thought would be possible, that you would actually see a Black person in the White House as a president of the United States. So pretty much all of us, and I voted for Obama twice, pretty much all of us thought that, hey, a new day was coming, a better tomorrow. We could kind of get ahead and we kind of put away some of this stuff that had really, really set us back as a people. But as we saw his administration, his presidency take place, we saw that there was really no actual end of the rainbow, so to speak, for us. That everything that we encountered with other presidents, we still was getting with Obama as well too. So we really, you know, we anticipated that, hey, that America was going to a new place, and really America was stuck in the same old place that it always was stuck at. So I don't know exactly. Like I said, I had high hopes. Now, if you speak to older Black people, the first thing they'll tell you is that, you know, Obama wanted, and I agree with some of what they said, that Obama wanted to do stuff, but the actual Congress and the white folks up in office, they weren't going to do anything. Of course, we heard that as soon as he got in office, they'd already made a pact that they weren't going to sign any legislation. They weren't going to help him do this or do that or whatever. So we understood, you know, that he had an uphill battle. But at times when it seemed like Obama could actually done something to actually further push things ahead, he just kind of seemed to stall out. And I think because of the actual, you know, the dynamics that Obama was a Black man, so to speak, but he was not and he was born in America. So you can say he was a black man born in America, but he wasn't an actual descendant of chattel slavery. He wasn't actually, you know, somebody whose family members had been enslaved in this country. So, you know, the actual way that people looked at him as compared to some of the other people was just crazy. I see Goddess Michelle saying she's been shadow banned again. Guys, I like I said, make sure you guys go ahead. If you're on X, make sure you guys go ahead and check for updates too. Check for updates on your phone as well, guys. Check for updates. Obama, and I hear a lot of immigrants say, you know, Obama, you know, we actually had a man that was actually an African that was president before any Black Americans. And it's true. People forget though, Black Americans was the ones that actually championed Obama and supported him and pushed for Obama. So Black America as a whole felt that Obama becoming president was a win for everybody. You know, I know people try to compare Obama being president to Kamala Harris. For one, Kamala Harris was picked as a running mate. So that's not the same as actually winning a general election and actually becoming president of the United States. So people felt that with Obama becoming president, that everything had changed and that America was actually changing for the better. Of course, we know, like I said, that's not true. You seem to have more racial incidents even under his presidency. Police and everything else, they started to tick things up. We remember the situation with Henry Louis Gates and him and the police officer getting into it. And Obama pretty much tried to stay a middleman as much as possible. We know that Trayvon Martin, when he got killed, he said if he had a Black son, he would beat Trayvon Martin, this and that or whatever. Of course, we also saw that his DOJ they weren't all that active in trying to pursue justice in a lot of cases that we felt they should have went ahead and pushed the actual envelope on. So my feeling and my thing is, was his presidency really the start of the actual disintegration of the actual mythical relationship of Black people globally having together, the Pan-Africanism? Pan-African, we know, it's supposed to be this unity, this one and all togetherness that we've never really had as a people, regardless. You don't have it in the Caribbean, you don't have it in Africa, and you don't have it anywhere. But we thought that with him that would actually be the case. You didn't see a whole lot of African nations reaching out as well too to say, the whole year of return thing. You thought that would have been something when Obama first became president that they would actually reached out to as well too. You had African leaders over there in the continent felt that he gave them a raw deal in certain instances. A lot of people, like I said, they were really for Obama. They supported Obama and everything else as well too. For all the people coming in the space, guys, there's been some connection issues. Make sure that your app is up to date. Check the Google Play Store. Check your iPhone. Make sure that your app is up to date, because everybody that's been popping in and popping out, they've been having issues with it. So I would just say, just go ahead and check the actual your updates and make sure everything is up to date. And yeah, Professor, let me get your opinion on it as well too. How do you feel about the actual Obama presidency? Like I said, I hate tonight too, because this is going to be, our people were coming in. This is going to be something that a lot of people want to speak on as well too. I hate that the actual not YouTube, but the X is just running like crap over here. Shout out to Avenge the Ancestors also as well too. He says YouTube is working. X, the audio is not good. Be first. Shout out to you, Avenge. As well too. But Professor, just give me how do you feel about the Obama legacy? Like I say, I really started seeing a delineation round by really 2020. I started, on YouTube videos and stuff like that. I started seeing people saying, hey, I'm not with Pan-Africanism and this and that or whatever. And, I believe that we need to take care of ourselves first and foremost. But what's your opinion on not only the delineation, the pushback against Pan-Africanism, but how does Obama's actual legacy and presidency also play a part in that, in your opinion?
I thought about that, Toto, as you first started talking about it, and to me, I started seeing it before he left office. I saw where Black Americans were actually challenging him before he left office because they didn't see any results. Because you even had like Dr. Cornel West, who else? It was him and somebody else, Tavis. Yeah, I think it was Tavis Smiley. They was going in on him. So I started seeing it then where Blacks were going up on some of these news shows, like these early morning Sunday morning shows, talking about he was not doing enough to push the agenda for Black Americans. And so I saw that delineation coming in to play then, because there were people actually saying, well, you know what, if you really look at this guy's bloodline, he's not from our bloodline. He's African. His dad was African. I think he was out of Kenya. So he's not really a part of us. But what we saw was a Black face in a high place. And once again, Black America.
Professor, real quick, keep that thought. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this space and I'm gonna start a whole nother space up right away. Everybody in the space, come right back. I'm gonna start this thing up and I'm gonna see if that may help as well. So Professor, everybody come right back. I'm gonna end this space and then I'm gonna start a new one right up.
Okay,
all right. Okay, guys, I'm going to start a new space right up because this thing was just pure trash. It was just pure trash how they had it. So we're going to start a new space right back up. Get our people back up in here. Yeah, X was tripping, Keith. It's tripping. Shamika, you right. Like, yeah, I mean, they doing something like against the black channels. They're doing something, man, to like just derail everything and just keep everything messed up. So go ahead and start this space up here. Hopefully, hopefully it won't be as jacked up as before. Black majority state. I see you up in here. Hopefully, we just had to start a new one because the space just was everybody was having connection issues and stuff like that. So hopefully, I'm hoping that this space here will be a little bit better, guys. EHZ, I see you say everything is good on your end. So definitely, of course, you're on YouTube as well. So yeah, we're not having the issues on YouTube. We're having the issues on we were having the issues on X. So hopefully it looks like everybody's coming up in here. I don't see people disappearing like last time. So hopefully we can get this thing rolling. I want to go ahead and touch up on this Obama thing as well too, man. I want to hear what people got to say about Obama, his legacy and did his legacy, did his presidency, did it start the delineation process and the push back against Pan-Africanism as well too. Ricky, what's up? I see you came up here as well too. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you, yo. I was trying to get in here before, and I tried to get on like 4 times, and it kept saying space is ended while the space is still going.
Yeah, it kept, and that's what everybody kept saying. Everybody kept saying that because I just closed the space out. We just started at 8, and it said it had 96 people in there. At the most we could see in there one time was like 7, 8 people up in there as well too. So, y'all know how these spaces on X are, man. I have no idea why they're so trashy like that, but it seems like at least our people able to come up in here and they're not having the issues, the connection issues as before. So that's a good thing. Please, everybody, tweet this space out right here and let everybody know that that we're back as well too. That we're back. So tweet it out. But Ricky, did you have anything real quick you want to say about how do you feel? Go ahead then.
Did Obama start the delineation process against Pan-Africanism? One thing that we have a lot in our community, especially with Obama, is revisionist history. There were a few people who called out the fact that he didn't grow up black. Like certain older people would say he didn't grow up black, right? And he clearly did not. And he clearly did not have black opinions. He clearly did not have allegiance to black people. He did have the black white, and that's the one thing he had. But the way he moved, the way he threw people under the bus, he let us know where he stands. But most of us overwhelmingly defended him and said, don't question the fact that he was other. You remember the whole birtherism thing, right? All us people here, we got hundreds of years in, but you got this man who doesn't have any connection to a black American at all, a father that he doesn't know from Africa. But they say, oh, he's a black man, and you're not allowed to question his blackness. His blackness, where does his blackness exactly even come from? He grew up in Indonesia and with these other people, with the Delineation people, who, according to his books and the stuff he said, they were anti-black. And about this Pan-Africanism, we got all this stuff going on. It's got me going crazy. I don't like how they are trying to usurp and take over our Juneteenth. But I am generally against the theatrical awards. But all this nonsense with people trying to pretend that before ADOS and delineation started, before that whole concept in 2017, most everybody was a damn Pan-African. And we were very into Pan-Africanists. I was one of the dissenters. I was calling myself an American, but people had dashikis and people didn't want to have American names and they didn't want the slave master to have their name. And that's why you don't have a lot of Marys and all the names that we used to have. People will change the names around to be part of Pan-Africanism. Thanks to the mic.
Thank you. And Ricky, you made a valuable point. And I'm not gonna lie, what you were saying when people started talking about they started talking about the birther stuff and this and that. I ain't gonna lie, I was one of the main ones that defended him. Like you said, when he came in, the simple fact that hey, we had a chance to have a black person up in the office. When people were saying, and you're right, back in 2008. The whole idea against Pan-Africanism really wasn't really in my mindset. I felt like, hey, we're globally, we're all black. Whether you whether you were born in this country or you come from the Caribbean, you come from Africa, like, hey, we all black people. And as black people, we're going to win. And I felt too that even though his dad was African, I felt that, okay, his dad's African, but he's born in America and his dad is black. So he's a black American as well too. So no, he doesn't come from the descendants of slaves like me and my family and everybody else that I know and stuff like that. But he's still a black man, and he's gonna look out. He's got this black American wife, this black family. Honestly, I didn't know anything about Obama when he popped up. I knew that Obama was a senator, but it was like he just came from when they say a meteoric rise, it's like this dude just shot out of the sky to nowhere. And all of a sudden, like, you couldn't go against him because, hey, you would be considered a hater. I remember when his preacher, Jeremiah Wright, came out and was like, when he said the goddamn America thing like that, and then everybody, because I even remember the stand-up when Cat Williams was like, hey, man, can you kindly shut the F up until after the election? We all was like, hey, man, don't blow this, don't mess this up. This is what it is. We moving forward as a people and stuff like that. So I was with you. And then please don't even around older black people. I'm talking about black women from their late 50s on up 60. You better not say nothing about no Barack Obama. You better not say nothing about him because they was gonna choose. He everybody president. Like, it was that whole thing. He everybody president. He just can't do for one. He just can't do for black people. And then it was that second term that really started to go ahead, and I think that really, really irked a lot of people. Don't get me wrong again. He still got overwhelmingly the black support when he ran and stuff like that, because deep down inside we felt, okay, well, it was his first term. He couldn't come out. He couldn't do anything for black people, so to speak, because if he did something for black people, then they're going to make sure he won't be around for a second term. I believe the first term he had the House and the Senate. So, that's how they was able to go ahead and push through the Obamacare or whatever. But we were saying, okay, the second term, he ain't got nothing to lose. So since he ain't got nothing to lose, he gonna come here, he gonna do this and do that. Because, hey, pretty much we all had in our mind say too, like, it's gonna be a long time before we see another black president here anyway. So Obama finna go ahead, he finna push forward his agenda. He finna get Black America right, and he's gonna drop some executive orders or whatever he's got to do, and we're gonna be straight as a people. And then when you didn't see that happen, then you was like, damn, like, what's really going on here? And then you start hearing people talk about, we started hearing about his legacy. They started talking about his legacy, especially after he left the White House. He started talking about y'all make sure that y'all don't vote Donald Trump in so you can protect my legacy. And I'm like, man, your legacy. What about the legacy of the people that built this damn country right here? Like, your legacy as a president is secondary compared to everything that black Americans did in this country as well too. So I was one of the main ones. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. I was one of the main people when Obama became president. I was like, look, I was a big Obama fan. I'm like, look, I gotta go for this dude. I used to get in arguments with white folks all the time. They would say, you just voting for him for his color, this and that, or whatever. Because a lot of white people were pissed off that Obama was gonna be president. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna ride with this dude. I think that, you know what I'm saying? I think that better days are coming. But then, like I said, that was just a mirage. And then I think that like you said, Ricky, the global camaraderie which you had with black people, the diaspora and stuff like that, I think a lot of that stuff kind of, I think it kind of hit a nerve with a lot of black people in the country as well too. A lot of black people was like, well, hey, what's the point of always supporting this and supporting that globally? Like, but when it comes time for people to do something for us, then you start hearing all this other garbage. So I think really his presidency really did strike a nerve. I think the vast majority of black people in this country were overwhelmingly proud when Barack Obama became president. Black Americans in this country, when I mean black Americans, I'm talking about black Americans, the people that's actually descendants of chattel slavery in this country. You couldn't tell them no different that Barack Obama wasn't a black American of that same lineage. That's how proud everybody felt. When you saw the reactions, when you saw the mega stars, when you saw the people out in the street, when you saw people crying and dancing and this and that or whatever, it was like this huge burden had been lifted off of black people, not only in America, but I think also globally. globally, I think because you had black people all over the world celebrating this man becoming president of the most powerful nation, not only in the world, but the most powerful nation in the history of the world as well, too. And that, hey, but it still didn't quite have that same, I guess, story like that happy ending if it had been a black man who became president, a black man who was a descendant of slaves had actually risen to the actual White House that black people actually built. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it to Professor. Professor, go ahead, because I know it looks like the connection. Everybody definitely go ahead and retweet this out. It looks like the connection is much better in this space. I'm glad I went ahead and just restarted it up. Professor, go ahead and you got it.
Yeah, thank you again, Tota. I just want to say, bro, I remember, and I know most of us remember where, some of us probably don't remember because, some of us might be babies up in here, but I'm one of the ones that's in the Gen X and close to 50. So I remember the whole thing that surrounded Obama, the mystique, was that he could be the first African-American president, and a lot of the older blacks were really excited about getting out there and voting for him because this would be something historical for them. Like my grandmother, oh my God, y'all should have seen her. My mom's mom. You should have seen her, man. Because she said, I didn't think I was going to ever live to see it. I didn't think I was going to ever live to see it. Praise the Lord. We was right there watching it together. And she said, look, son, we did it. We did it. I can leave here now knowing we had a black president. That was my grandmother, and I'm pretty sure all of you probably had that same grandmother or grandfather that was saying that to you. Did y'all?
Or mama.
Yeah, I want y'all to come up here and tell me if your grandmother or your grandfather said, "Hey, I can leave here now, knowing that we had a black president. We have a black president in office." I'm gonna land right there.
And my great aunt, man, every time I walked into her house, it's nothing but Obama pictures with her, him and Michelle, the family, them getting elected. She got the newspaper clippings on the wall. I just roll my eyes every time I go in there,
And we all had that same experience.
And not only that, but just like you did, I'm sorry, Keith, go ahead.
No, actually, I'm agreeing with Professor and Ricky. Yeah, I was one of those. I'm a Gen Xer too. Oh yeah, they was dancing the jig in the street. It was something unbelievable. But what we didn't recognize, and I ain't nowhere near a Trump fan, nowhere near it. But he pointed out the obvious, and we didn't pay attention to it. And yeah, they sell that today. My sister, who's president of the Democratic Party where I'm at right now, got a picture of him. And I look at her all the time when I go to her house. I was like, how'd that work out for her? And they'll get mad. But look, I'm going to speak my truth. How'd that work out for her? So yes, he was beginning of the delineation process, because then we started seeing after after everything died down, what did he actually do other than hand us over on a silver platter? I'll land my plane with that one.
Real talk, Ricky. And listen, I'm a Gen Xer as well too, and I cut a jig myself. Like I said before, when I started off the space, I cut a jig. I was sitting up there. I'm like, I was sitting up there. I was happy. I wasn't crying or nothing like that, but I felt like, hey, this is it. My son my oldest son was just born, and I'm thinking like, damn, I'm like, you about to come into a world. We used to hear this stuff all the time as a kid growing up that, hey, you could be a black president. And for all of us that grew up in the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that, you used to hear that, but you would laugh. You were like, yeah, okay. Yeah, sure, I can become, if I'm on a TV show, I'm on a movie, I can become. But then you actually saw this dude right here actually become the president. And you're like, damn, you're like, okay, well, it's going to be a different world for my little one right here as well too. So you thinking like, okay, like, man, we moving up like George and Wheezy right here. We actually doing it as a people right now. We on that verge of doing something major, historical. And then it was just the illusion of illusions. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to you, Ricky. I got to go ahead and get to Trouble because she's a new speaker, and I'm gonna come back to you, Ricky. What's up, Trouble?
Hey, Newstoter. Shout out to the Black family. Hope everybody is doing well. I was just going to say, who was that speaking? Keith. I was really just coming to say what Keith had said. I do believe that Obama was by the end of his term, that was the start of the delineation process, because everything you said, Newstoter, was 100, and you and I be in sync on a lot of things, and that's everything that you stated up until this point. I 100% agree with. I mean, Black folks, a lot of us now are so angry that we don't want to admit that when Obama came into the picture, that how excited we was to a degree. We was screaming, "Obama beat your mama." That was, I remember hearing people, Obama beat your mama. That was the thing. It was exciting. I always kept in mind that he has a white mom, so how was he raised? But then when you heard him talk, and then when he talked about his personal experiences in Chicago, that was like, oh, he's from Chicago, so he done been up in the hood. Then you meet his wife, and he got that chocolate, beautiful looking wife, and you're like, oh, okay, she seems down to earth. Okay, he might be one of us. Yeah, I heard him say his dad was from Kenya, but at that time, we're still thinking, a lot of us still thinking, okay, well, the Africa connection with Black folks here, and, yada, 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 and, one love and all of that stuff. So he endeared himself to us, and we thought that we was getting ready to be able to move forward. I don't have grandparents or a mom or anything like that, so I didn't have that connection with the elders in my family. I remember speaking to my dad about it, and he just kind of, my dad's kind of, he just chuckles at things, so you never really know what's on his mind, whether he's for or against something, because he just kind of does his head like, whatever, we'll see. So I couldn't get that excitement from him. But I remember I had an Obama keychain on my keys with the 44th president on it. I went out and bought this big black and white purse with Michelle and Obama on it, and I have it. I still have it sitting in my living room on top of my stand as a reminder now that all skin folk is not kinfolk. I never wore the purse out, but because it's super huge and I don't wear big giant purses, but it's full of junk now. But I'm just saying, I had one, because that was the excitement at the time. We got our first Black president, listening to the Tupac song of "We'll Never Have a Black President," and they was playing that ad nauseum at the time, and even speaking on it in the news of how Tupac prophesized, or he wrote the song about it or whatnot. So yeah, it was the beginning of the delineation process, and that's why I always say a lot of times everything happens for a reason. A lot of things that happen is meant to happen. It has to happen in order for us as a people to be able to wake up and move forward. Obama had to happen. Us being able to do certain things now is indicative of certain things that had happened. We had Obama. We needed for Obama to happen so that we could wake up to the fact that all skin folk is not kinfolk in this Africa connection. We are all one people is a lie. Because now we're starting to see, and we're starting to pay attention, and we're having conversations where we're breaking things down as when it comes to global Black, to what it means to be Black in the system of globalization. So that needed to happen. Trump needed to happen. Trump really needed to happen. He needed to happen because, well, Obama. He's like the anti-Obama. But, so that just goes along with everything has to happen. And Trump, for us to be, is another wake-up call for Black folks. And I'll keep my thoughts on that. I'm going to wait till after the election, and then I'll I might not wait till after the election, but I'm going to let it play out. because it's going to go exactly the way my mind is saying it's going. Because, you know, sometimes I feel like, you know, we still walking around like chickens with our head chopped off, and we're grasping at straws, trying to grasp at something that seems like it's going to be good for us, when nothing in the system of white supremacy is good for us. And I don't care how good it sounds, you know, but it is what it is. So Obama definitely was the start of the delineation process. It had to happen, and it's a good thing, because now we see the vitriol of these other nations of black folks who are actually coming for our necks and our throats, because we're starting to recognize that we are nothing more than an economic base to you all, just like we are the economic base to white folks. You know, because when you come off of here, you tether on to us, and you use us for your economics. But other than that, you actually have so much hate and vitriol in your heart. You have no use for us outside of the greenbacks that we provide. So yeah, he was the start of it, but he's definitely not the end of it. So I'll land right there. Thank you for letting me come to the stage. Much love, everybody.
It's always good to hear from you, Trevor, because you always dropping some knowledge up in the space as well too. So I'm always glad to have you up in here. Shout out to all my people up in here as well too. I see Tata, Miss D, Nita, Silva. I see the connection is straight. Rera, what's up? Monique, I know you guys was up in the space earlier and it kept crashing, so I'm glad to have y'all up in here. Make sure y'all go ahead and retweet this out. Also, come on up here too and share your thoughts about the actual topic of the room. Ricky, go ahead. I know you were going to go after Trouble. You got it.
All right. Now, I'm one of the few people in this space, maybe the only one, who was voting at that time and did not vote for Obama. I already knew what the Democrats were about. I'm not a Republican, but knew what the Democrats were about, and I knew that there was nothing good that was going to come from an electorate that was ready to nominate Hillary Clinton. Speaking of Hillary Clinton, in 2008, I think originally some of us kind of got it right, and we should give props to those people, and those people have already been forgotten. When Hillary put out that picture with him in the garb, and there was everybody going around talking about how Obama was the secret Muslim from the madrasa. And you know how a lot of us are all extra Christian, and we was like, oh, no, we don't trust him. I don't trust him because he's whatever. Those people turned out to be right. At a time, we was mocking those people, but he ended up being right. Or those people ended up being right. The guy was up. And most of us was willing to vote for Hillary in 2016. And those people was not about delineation. I think delineation really starts in 2017 when Trump beats Hillary. Then that sets up the whole reparations thing, and then we was being specific about who gets it. And that's where delineation, I think, really took off 2017. Landon.
Thank you, Ricky. But do you think the delineation, even though what you said that you feel it really took off in 2017, do you feel like Obama was the actual fuel that actually got everything going, though, his presidency?
But all of us loved Obama so much the whole time. There was very few dissenters. I don't think people was turning and looking to delineate when Obama was in office. They was working or looking to love Obama. People was crying, telling their kids to cry when Obama left. And old ladies was dancing. Remember the 100-year-old old lady that went and was dancing for Obama? I don't think anybody was delineating or doing anything that would have been against Obama, or very few of us were. Most of us were not also moving.
All right. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you. I think I agree with most of what you said. I think, though, towards the end of that second term, I think it did leave not all black people, but I think it left a lot of black people kind of, with an empty feeling, like, a lot of black people assume that second term, because Obama, he didn't win by as much as large a percentage as he did the first time when he beat McCain, as compared to when he beat Mitt Romney, but he still beat Mitt Romney. And we thought, at least I know I thought, I can't say for everybody, but I said, well, you know what? Okay, now Obama about to show his true colors, because he like, hey, I'm one and done here. There's nothing they can do. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in something in place for black people. And, I'm going to leave a legacy behind that black people are going to be like, hey, you know what? He couldn't have done it all, but he at least tried to do this. He at least tried to do that. And I think after that second term, because I'm not going to lie, even after the Obama 2 terms, I did still went ahead because I had a major issue with Donald Trump. Like he was saying, when Donald Trump started talking about that birther stuff and he's a Kenyan and stuff like that, I'm like, well, damn. I'm like, this joker here racist as hell. Like he coming out of nowhere. You got this reality star sitting up here.
He's not American though. He's not American.
But I'm saying, but listen to what I'm saying. Because we were told even though he's not a black American, so to speak, he was supposedly be born in America. He said that makes him an American citizen. And the fact that he had a black father, so we assume that, hey, this is a black man. This is a black man with African ancestry who was born in America, and he's still a black man. So when I started hearing that Trump was saying that, hey, this man is a Kenyan and he was born in Kenya and this and that or whatever, and I'm like, well, damn, this is racist as hell. I'm like, first off, how could they sneak? I'm like, it's no way they'd be able to sneak a black man in the White House that was actually born in a whole nother country. So I started taking issue with Donald Trump myself, like, well, damn, I can't stand Trump. And it's not that because I didn't like Hillary Clinton either, but the fact that I felt that Donald Trump helped to stir up a lot of racist stuff and got everything going, and the blowback was pushed that hard and stuff like that. I was like, well, you know what? First off, I thought it was no way in hell Donald Trump can win. I'm like, nobody in their right mind is going to vote for no Donald Trump. This man is a blowhard. This man is a reality star. He done been bankrupt. I don't know how many times, divorced how many. I like he's a bunch of hot air. Nobody's going to vote for him. I'm like, but then as elections started getting close, I started thinking, I'm like, damn, is America really going to vote for a black man, put a black man in office, and then follow it up with a woman as well too? Because I think a lot of us, when we go back to 2008, a lot of us thought that Hillary Clinton was going to beat Barack Obama. You know, I thought that Hillary Clinton was actually going to get the nomination and beat Barack Obama. And then when he beat her, I was shocked. I'm like, oh snap. I'm like, well, damn, this dude actually got a realistic shot at being a president. But when Trump came out and he started talking about that birther stuff, and then you start having Fox News covering it and everything else, and they started running with it, I said, damn, you got another black person, another black man up here, a black American, even though he was, his father was Kenyan. You say, okay, well, his father's Kenyan, but he's black. He's born in this country because when we go back to 2008, most of us assumed, even if somebody had, most of us felt, even if somebody had ancestry, a black person had ancestry from another country, if that person was actually born in this country right here, that was a black person. That was a black American. So I was like, hey man, damn Trump, the hell with Trump. Hillary Clinton gonna beat him. And then, when that didn't, so I don't disagree totally with you saying, Ricky, that it helped to start the action movement as well too. I think it exploded more definitely with Trump as president and losing to Hillary Clinton. But I think you had a lot of black people, and I think for the simple fact that Obama was black, they didn't want to publicly say anything about it. But a lot of black people felt disappointed and slighted in that second term. They was like, well, damn, this is how we doing it. This is how we gonna do it like this here. So I definitely agree with you, but I definitely I feel like a lot of people felt slighted. I myself felt slighted. I thought that we were going to get a lot more. I said, you know what? This man doesn't have anything to lose. His legacy's already set. He's the first black president of the United States. Even if there's not another black person that ever holds office for another 100 years in this country, this man is going to go in there and he's going to make some changes and this and that. But like we all know, Obama left little subtle signs to say, hey, I'm not going to do nothing. From the Henry Gates situation to his DOJ never really pushing it on police brutality and everything else like that, to some of the little snide comments he left and stuff. I think that you started to have a falling out with black people, not on whole, but it's a reason you don't hardly see Barack Obama as much. Like the Democrats don't really trot him out when it's election time that much. I don't think he still has the same juice that he had back in 2008 or even 2012. Let me go ahead and get to Miss Cleopatra, and then I'm gonna get to you, Keith, and I'm gonna get to you, Trouble. Miss Cleopatra, what's going on with you tonight, sweetie?
Yes, well, hello, everyone. As you can see, I had sent you some stuff earlier about President Obama. Yes, he was a disappointment, but I don't know if you got shifted. He was married to an ADOS woman, and that was the even bigger disappointment. That was the bigger disappointment. He was married to Michelle Obama, and Michelle Obama did not push him to do what he needed to do. People can say whatever they want about Al Sharpton and Urban League, but as you see, they went to Obama and they did ask Obama to do some things, and there was Tavis Smiley. We may have all of these foreign politicians here, but I lead with caution. If we come to you respectfully, because I've seen some very disrespectful people on this app who have reached out to the president, as you can see from pictures of Martin Luther King talking to LBJ. He wasn't in there calling him a white cracker and all this other stuff, but he was respectful. But if you come in particular as a foreign politician, and you dismiss us and what we're pushing for, I think it will have some serious consequences in the long run. Some very serious consequences. And I don't think Obama or Michelle Obama was expecting this type of pushback, because people go after him in the comments section like, oh my goodness. And then I would land my plane in saying that was one of the reasons why I wrote a piece called Animosity, because we do have quite a few women who may be marrying some of these men, and sometimes women may not want to rock the boat, but this is not a moment where you need to be quiet in your marriage. You need to speak up and say, honey, you need to do something about this. Obama dropped the ball big time, and I have enough receipts, and I have more receipts I could put out there, but I land my plane. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, I see you on YouTube. You say drop the StreamYard link. We're over here on, this is an X space. I'm going to see if I can get DJ to go ahead and drop the link over here, but we're actually on X. Let me read real quick what Love My Folks said. She said, therein lies the problem, calling him the first black president. He isn't a black. Obama is the son of a pale white woman in a Kenyan. This is unwillingness to put him in his place is still an issue. Black California never considered him black because we have quite a few biracials or half-breeds who we othered. Okay. That's Love My Folks. And y'all know Love My Folks should be talking some serious noise over there on YouTube as well. Let me go ahead and Keith, and then I'm going to get to Trouble. Anybody else that wants to speak to, come on up here as well, guys.
Okay, did you say Keith?
Yeah, you got it, Keith.
Hey, I want y'all to remember, this is something that struck me when I looked at that. You said his second term. That's when Trayvon Martin happened. And the way I saw him handle that made me stop and think about, and Professor and Ricky, I think y'all know what I'm about to say. We've probably been saying this since the mid-'90s, that we kind of seen some janky behavior for people that look like us that ain't us. And we done had conversations with our uncles, and you might even still have those conversations till this day, if they, fortunately still alive. We started saying stuff as young dudes, like, hey, dudes over here acting janky. And they be like, oh, they don't know no better. This, that, and the other. Then fast forward and see how he handled the Trayvon Martin. He had the Justice Department, and I think that was Eric Holden in at that time, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he had him at one time.
He was over the, and look what they did. He could have made a simple statement saying, "No, that ain't gonna jump off." He handled that stuff with kid gloves. And that was a slap in the face. That's when I started thinking back to when I used to talk to my uncles, and they would kind of downplay when it came to, even though immigrants lived amongst us as far as black people from Kenya, the DR, and this, that, and the other, we would give clothes to them, we feed them. That's when I started looking at that and saying, hey, we need to kind of recalibrate how we thinking about these people that's coming over into this country, because they have a whole different mindset, and they don't have the same. When we can go back and talk to our grandmother, especially old as I am, my grandmother lived to get to 105. I could listen to stuff that happened in the 1900s. I will remember those stories. These people don't have a latch nor any kind of interaction with that. And they only here to be able to assimilate into white society. And they will keep doing this as long as we keep doing that, as long as we keep associating with them without saying them, okay, you are Jamaican, you stay Jamaican. You Haitian, you stay Haitian. When Haitian problems come up, you Haitian. You not black. Black like us. Until we draw that line, and they've been doing this since the 80s and the 90s. I'm telling you that. Professor and Ricky, I bet you could tell the stories of some of the janky stuff you've seen them do. So for the people coming up behind, y'all need to understand we got to draw the line in the sand. Because they're going to keep doing it. And actually getting aggressive because we saying we delineating from them. Look across the board as far as social media. They attacking you divisive because we said the same thing you saying. How is that divisive? Real talk. If I say I'm a foundation of Black America or descendant of freedmen, but you can stand up there, I don't see you saying Jamaican African. I don't hear you saying Haitian African. I don't see you doing that. So we have to stand on our square with that. And it's not about an anger-based thing. It's about everybody being on code and letting them know you do you, we do us. And I'll land my plane with that.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
By the way, Toto, the birther thing was started by Hillary Clinton.
It was started by Hillary? I thought it was started by Trump.
No, it was Hillary Clinton that pushed it first. Then Trump took it from there.
Oh.
I want everybody to remember that Trump and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton were all good buddies at one time. A lot of people might not remember that.
Yeah, okay.
What you mentioned earlier was part of birtherism. The thing where they showed Obama with the turban, that's all part of birtherism.
Okay, because I just assumed it was Trump. You know how the years fly by. I just assumed because Trump was the one. He was a damn blowhorn that was championing it loud and everything else as well too. Love my folks says Newstoter. I'm not talking noise. I'm inserting facts into the discussion. People such as yourself who believe in global blackness miss the lesson of delineation and the legacy of Obama. So I guess love my folks is straighten me out. I didn't miss it. I was there, sweetie. I saw it as well too. And I think most of us, like I say, the vast majority of black people that voted, they voted for Obama. So I think the entire black voting bloc in this country pretty much missed that issue as well too. Because you really at that time, if we're being honest, most people in the country, most black people in the country, when a black person, even though I'm from Florida. So I know Jamaicans, I know Haitians, I know all of the Caribbean people and this and that or whatever. For the most part, we consider all those people as black people. And it wasn't until later on that you started having people say, "Oh, well, I'm this and I'm that." Well, even when they said that, they still say I'm black or whatever. But that in 2008, most black people, if you looked at a person from another part of the world, that person they had the skin tone as you, the hair, the nose, or the lips, or whatever. Most black people say, okay, well, this is a black person. This is a black person from a different part of the world or whatever, but it's a black person. But I think as Ricky and a number of other people said around 2017, it's definitely as a reparation thing started to kick off. And also Obama never supported reparations as well either. Obama in the first term was against same-sex marriages in the second term. And that's what I'm saying. You thinking in the second term, okay, well, he's finna let out, he got some surprises for everybody. Yeah, he had some surprises, all right. Because he was the one that really championed the same-sex marriage thing as well, too, with the Boca. And it was crazy when the Boca black people were against it. Now, this is how much black people in this country, especially older black people, baby boomers, loved Obama. They were dead set against same-sex marriage. They was dead set against it. The same way, if you want to be honest, black people in the 80s were dead set against abortion rights as well, too. But when some of these Democrats started going actually champion this stuff like that, a lot of black people, even black people in my family, was like, well, you know, they was dead set against same-sex marriage. Well, you know, you know, whatever two people do, grown people want to do, it's up to them and this and that or whatever. Same thing with abortion. Well, you know, before, like, I mean, these people were Bible thumpers. Okay. Oh no, it's wrong. It's killings, murder. Well, you know, you can't tell a woman what to do with her body. I'm like, well, isn't that kind of going against what you guys believe? Like, oh, well, you know, well, you got to separate church from state and this and that. And I'm like, okay, well, we kind of, you know, I guess we want to get our man up in office, so we'll kind of go along with it. So let me go ahead and get to Trouble. Go ahead, Trouble. I'm glad to get you back up. And no taxation, black majority states. Shannon, shout out to you guys as well, too. Go ahead, Trouble. You there, Trouble? Trouble might.
Talking with the mute button, no.
It happens.
So, in response to Ricky, but Keith, I get where you're coming from, because I always thought it was weird too that black folks in America, we're strapped down with the label African American, but when other nations are black here, they don't say African Jamaican American or African Haitian or anything like that. We're the only group that's saddled and strangled to death with the African label, and even other nations of black seem to want to force the African thing on us, when it's not like we never said, you know, we didn't have that African connection. What we've just been basically saying is that for as long as we've been here, we are far removed from the continents and cannot necessarily trace back any lineage to there as far as people is concerned. So we want to be who we are. But other nations of blacks who are also dropped off on boats to different parts of the world, you know, don't have to be saddled or, you know, have it thrown down their throats that they too are African, you know, and they totally miss that mark. And I don't know if they're purposely trying not to get it when we say that to them, or they just really just want us to be the only group who has to be, you know, have that label on us because, you know, we're great. But anyhow, what Ricky was saying is, I can agree with what Ricky was saying as far as the 2017 thing, but I still think that the end of Obama's term was really the start of the delineation, at least as far as the thought process of it, because I remember when it was the whole Hillary thing, and he's right. I think Hillary was the one who brought in the birther thing because she was trying to connect him to the Muslim Brotherhood. Trump just come in like a troll and took it to new levels like the troll that he is. But I think the delineation process really kind of started at the end of his term, because mainly I remember I used to, you know, go hard for the Democrats, but I would always talk trash about the Republicans too. And I ended up getting into it with a lot of people that I really did like on Facebook. I wasn't on Twitter at that time. You know, I didn't come to Twitter until I kept getting kicked off of Facebook for 30 days and foolishness. When I had 3 of my Facebook accounts on a 30-day ban, that's when I came to Twitter. But yeah, I worked hard for that ban. But I remember losing a lot of friends during Obama's term, because you couldn't say nothing about Obama. Like, you know, yeah, you know, he's not doing A, B, and C, but in his second term, you know, he gonna do X, Y, and Z, you know, because, you know, he couldn't do it the first term because he needed the second term, and then his second term came in, and it was a total disappointment, really disappointing. And then the new talking point became, well, black people didn't get out and vote, and we didn't give him the Congress members that he needed in order for him to do A, B, and C. And it was like, to me, that felt like an excuse. And it felt like an excuse. And then I'm looking at the fact that, why is it always on black people when you Democrats aren't winning, or when you Democrats can't get anything to do? Y'all claim that we are 13% of the population. You claim that it was the majority of white people because they was throwing that in our faces hard after Obama was elected. Well, it was the majority of the votes came from white people, so it wasn't like you black people did it by yourself. Okay, well, we give you that, but you know, y'all wanted to claim him so bad as you all being the ones to put him up there. But when it came to why he couldn't do anything for Black America, it all of a sudden again became black people's burden. Well, we didn't give him, you all didn't get out and vote. and give him the senators and congressmen that he needed in order to have the House and the state and the Senate to do A, B, and C. And that's where I kind of started getting a disconnection from. I remember in a few of the groups I was running on Facebook that there was always arguments between a lot of the members, and I engaged in some of them where was saying vote for Trump. Well, remember, the vitriol was then turned to Obama. And so I didn't want Joe Biden. I didn't want Trump, at the time, but trying to make it Obama's fault. I was still kind of on the verge. But I remember a lot of people then was up on the whole Obama is not even a Black American. He's not a Black American. He's Kenyan. His dad is from Kenya. And I didn't understand these talking points and where they was coming from. So that's why I feel like the end of his term really was the start of the delineation process, because that's when I started seeing Black folks, because Black folks wasn't saying that before. They wasn't saying that in his, in as loud and as much as we are now. They weren't saying that in his first term about him being Kenyan, because the white folks were saying it. So most Black folks were swinging on white folks about them trying to give him to Kenya. But after his second term, that's when I seen a whole lot of Black folks online talking about the fact that he wasn't an American Black. So that's why, and I'm long-winded like a mug, but that's why I feel like that was pretty much the start of the delineation. But 2017, that's when it took on new heights. I guess maybe here on Twitter. I don't think I was here on Twitter during that time frame either. I had absconded from being online, period, for a long time. But yeah, I can see where that came in, where the reparations movement started picking up steam and taking flight. Where the delineation conversation took on a whole new world and a whole new entity of its own. But I believe that a lot of those talking points really came in at the end of his term. So I'll land right there. I got to get out in traffic, but for sure.
All right, Trouble, you be forever driving.
About 11 minutes.
Hey, Trouble be forever. She be driving while she be talking, so I got to give Trouble her due on that. She be on that phone, but she be up there driving as well too. Trouble's right though, and I'm gonna get to you, Keith. Towards the end of his that second term, I started hearing terms like Hamite and stuff like that. I'm like, what the hell is a Hamite? Like, and people start like going biblical and stuff. I'm like, oh Lord, Hamite. Like, she's right when a lot of people were saying he's Kenyan, this and that or whatever. Like I said, at the time, a lot of Black people were like, hey man, this is a Black man here. It's a Black man. Like, I had people in my family like, oh, that's a Black man. No. My dad, like, he's a Black man. He be treated the same way as you and I was if he was over here doing civil rights, Jim Crow and slavery and stuff like that. So I was like, hey, it wasn't a later on, like I said, I really started to see the pushback and people. But here's a question I want to ask everybody. Since we're saying that the delineation thing started, if you want to say the end of his term or even when Trump became president, we see that once again, the two highest positions that the presidency and the vice president, we have two people with Obama and Kamala Harris who don't have ancestors from chattel slavery yet. They've actually held these actual offices. Now we look globally around the world. If you look in the Caribbean, if you look in Africa, have you ever had a Black person, a Black American, or even a person that was a descendant of Black Americans in those actual lands? Let's say that the person's family moved to Nigeria and had that person over there. Have we ever seen a Black person rise up in politics in one of these Black-owned nations, like a Jamaica, or Nigeria, Ghana, anything like that? Have we ever seen anything similar to how we seen over here in America, where we seen both Barack Obama and Kamala Harris? Hell, what's his name? Eric Holder, I believe, has a Caribbean. He was appointed DOJ. He has Caribbean. He has Caribbean ancestry as well too. Have we ever seen anything comparable? On the continent and the Caribbean. Let me give a shout out to Francesca and EHZ as well too for their contributions on Cash App. But has anybody seen anything comparable to that anywhere in the world? Keith, go ahead and unmute your mic. You got it.
I got an even better question. Let's just stick to the point of Obama, and we'll say Kamala, Erica Holden. whenever they called out, they're so proud to talk about their heritage. Why are they not calling on that? Since we got a really big immigration problem within our country right now, right? Right? I don't see them going to their ethnic groups, not foundational Black Americans or freedmen, whatever you want to call it. They are not going to them and asking them for their support. They're going to Black Americans. That's what bothers me. When they talk about they want to clump us all together, but you, like Obama, I'm Kenyan American. Let me focus on the Kenyan American group that's coming in here. We need you to support us. Kamala Harris, she calls herself Asian. With, I think, isn't their father like Jamaican or Haitian or something like that?
Her father's Jamaican.
Jamaican. Is she reaching out to the Jamaican population? No, she's not. She's going toward the Black American population. That in itself is disingenuous. Eric Holder, do you see him talking to people from the DR that say they ain't Black? He's not doing anything. See, that's the problem with the Pan-Africanism, and that's where it started with people that's old, you know, people that's been watching this and looking at it, kind of standing there as a third person and watching it. You say, hey, man, the math ain't math in here. You want to clump us all together, but then if the coins start falling, you don't know nothing about us, nor want to. That's got to end, and I think that's what's infuriating them right now, because they can't run that D-Lo twist on us no more. Now it's saying, hey, you stand on your square, I'll stand on mine. I'm not doing this unless I get X, Y, and Z. All of a sudden, why do you need reparations? Why do you need? Because you wasn't even here when it happened. So you can probably keep your mouth shut and stay in your lane. We ain't over in there with the what was that called? The council they got over there. Is it Ecom or UCOM? I'm not sure what, you know what I'm talking about, where they actually had Israel in there for one time.
Yeah, I can't see what is it, y'all?
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant to me. It's irrelevant to me. But you letting Arab countries come in there without even coming to the Black Americans and saying, hey, you know, we need y'all to be a part of this too. But you also want us to back you when they're having problems. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but up in there, more than 30,000 Africans in New York just got put out over the weekend, and they're saying we need more help, and they're asking for the Foundation of Black Americans to do something about it, or freedmen, whichever way you want to talk about. Why is it that y'all can't include us, but when the ish hits the fan, all of a sudden we got to stick together like glue? And it's not an angry thing. What it is you really got to start putting guidelines in for them to understand you either on one side of the fence or you're not. And that goes from Obama on down. He shouldn't be able to tell us nothing, because he will talk about his Kenya and biracial heritage and lineage before he talk about being Black. Have you noticed that? That's why we started delineating from him, because we started picking his parts. You know, the older dudes that was looking at it from the beginning, you was handpicked to be somebody. It's not like you came from the soil. It's different when you can go and just pick the plant. But if you go from the soil, it got a different feel to it. We started to pick that up on the second term. And shout out to a lot of people that picked that up. So that's just me. I'll land my plane. I ain't trying to be too long-winded. And shout out to Trouble. She is exactly right.
No, you made some interesting points there, Keith. One thing I'll say when you were saying about like the Kenyan American, like you got to remember when Obama was brought to us, Obama, even though his father was Kenyan, his mother was white. Obama wasn't brought to us as anything other than being a black American. He was brought to us that okay, yeah, he has an African father, but he's a black American. He's a black man. Even though he was mixed, he was brought to us as simply being a black man. The thing that and when he was running for president, they tried to kind of get away from the Kenyan thing because when they started talking about that he was born in Kenya and this and that or whatever, then that that made him not an American, so to speak. So he got away from that thing, and they label him as an African American or a Black American, but they kind of got away from the Kenyan thing that they wanted to go ahead. Now later on, like you said, he started talking about it, his roots and everything else, but he did his best, and not only him, but the actual way he was presented to us was hey, this is a black man, this is a black man in America running for the White House. They disconnected the whole Kenyan thing because the Kenyan thing also became like almost an insult. Like, how dare you say that this man was born over there in Kenya when you know damn well he's an American? So they tried to go ahead and kind of tap dance and kind of get away from the whole, oh yeah, this is a Kenyan blase thing that, hey, this is just a black man or whatever. If you ever heard Obama talk and then you ever heard him talk to a white audience and then you heard him talk to a black audience, you can hear how his voice actually changed. When he started talking to black people, he started getting this Southern Baptist type accent. He started with the whole Jesse Jackson type. I mean, he was preaching to the choir. He was trying to drum up support and everything else like that. His whole inflection and everything changed when he actually talked to an actual black audience as compared to when he was talking to a non-black audience. So I always thought that was fascinating in itself, in a sense, in itself as well too. I see we got Black Pressure up here. Pressure, I saw that you had left an article down there, I believe. I didn't get a chance to catch it, but I think it was something about what he actually gave the Native Americans when he was president. I don't know if Pressure's up in the space right now, but I know he's up here in the speaker slot. But Pressure, if you get a chance, I know you did post something about what he actually I guess gave the Native Americans when he was in office. Like I said, Obama, he didn't support reparations. Now I know later on, after he left the White House and he's done all these book tours and all this other stuff. He talks about reparations now and everything else like that before, but I don't know if the people told him in the party not to mention it or whatever, that it's a lose-lose type topic, but he definitely steered clear of the actual the entire reparation type thing as well too. So just for anybody that may have forgot, what's DJ? What's up? You up in the space?
Ski ye, piece of cake.
Yeah. I want to get your opinion real quick because I know I hadn't heard you say anything, and any of our other people speaking listening as well too, guys. I want to know if there's anything comparable to Kamala and Obama in terms of black people globally and some of these other nations. The actual children of black Americans or that was actually born in one of these foreign nations. Did they come up the same way? Have we seen a person of black American lineage? And I'm not talking about no Liberia, nothing like that. I'm talking about one generation removed from America in one of these black nations as a president, vice president, or hell, even in their Congress, anything like that. Is anything comparable? Because we have seen, if we look at the Black Caucus and we look at, like I say, Obama and Kamala, we don't have an issue, and we've never had an issue of actually black people actually voting in other black people from other places into actual politics. But is there anything similar in the Caribbean, in Africa, anywhere? If anybody knows, if you guys have any articles posted, if you can say, well, yeah, this person's family moved over to Zambia in the 1970s, and they had a child over there, and this child became the actual president or something like that, or vice president, please let us know. But yeah, DJ, Professor, if you guys got something you want to add, and I want to hear what Pressure got to say too, because Pressure was dropping some articles down there as well too. So definitely want to hear what he got to say. Avenge, if you want to talk as well too, let us know. Raise your hand, and we'll get to you as well.
Hey, I'll say something real quick. The answer is no, as far as comparison that I can think of off the top of my head. But just to give honorable mention, I guess Lisa Ray did become the queen of Texas Caicos for like a hot second or whatever. So that's like the only thing I can think of, man, off the top, man. But yeah, no.
All right. Rerod was saying.
Hey, Newstoter, real quick.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. The reason why we don't, because we're not allowed. Look what we got to go through to get dual citizenship. So that would be terribly out of reach for us to even do that. Look what they're doing in Ghana.
Hey, S Represent on YouTube says, start talking about his jump shot and saying Amazing Grace.
Don't forget to tell Cousin Pookie to pull up to the cookout.
Yeah. Hey, Avenge, go ahead. What's going on with you tonight? How you doing?
What's up, brother Newstoter? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You on the Bluetooth, anything?
It's yeah, it's the Bluetooth. It's connected to my radio.
Okay. We could hear you a lot better probably if you weren't on the Bluetooth, but if you got to keep it on, go ahead. How you doing tonight?
All right, yeah, it's normally cut off on the song, man. Thanks for letting me up. But yeah, Obama, man, I'm a Gen X too. He's definitely a psyop, man. I voted for him, but not because I liked it, not because I thought he would do something for the black community, man. The reason why I voted for him, man, I thought they was going to kill him, truthfully, honestly, because I was thinking to myself, what self-respecting black man ever want to be president of the most corrupt, gluttonous, murderous society on the planet? They said Barack Obama. Then once I seen him, I said, they done found him one. So yeah, man, he's definitely a psyop. You know, I only voted twice in my life, once for parole and once for Obama, man. I have absolutely no faith in this society, but yeah, I don't know why people thought he was going to be able to do something, but yeah, he was definitely a psyop, man. It's just sad, but yeah, bro, I appreciate you letting me up, man. You see me, I just like to listen to you good people, man. I don't really got much to say, you know, but somebody say something to trigger me, man. I come up and say a few things, but you know, other than that, I just like listening to you good people, man. I'm gonna lay it right there, bro. Thanks for bringing me up. You won.
No problem. And I know you always be up in the spaces and you always drop a comment and everything else as well too. So I just want to get you up in here and have you say what you got to say, man. I appreciate you as always supporting the space as well too. My girl Rerod having some connection issues. I sent her the link, but she was saying that they talk about that the space is ended and stuff like that. So DJ, if you get a chance, see if you can send Rerod if you can send her a link to the space. I send it, but it was talking about that she couldn't access the page and everything else. If you a professor, get a chance, y'all go ahead and send Sister Rerod the actual link. Let me give a shout out real quick to Gwen too. Thank you, Miss Gwen, for your contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead into I said we got my girl Trouble back up here as well. We got Brother Moku up here. Okay, good. We got the family coming up here as always. We got my girl No Taxation coming up here as well. It's been a minute since I heard from No Taxation. DJ, you want to go ahead and say something real quick, and then I'm gonna get to the speakers.
Nah, let the family get it real quick.
Okay, go ahead, Trouble. You got it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to avenge what he was saying was a lot of black people was voting because Obama did what he fed us what we had been looking for. Like a lot of the I'm Gen X too, but like a lot of our elders, he came in with the hope, you know. So we was hopeful. We were still in that hopeful phase, and thank God that we were moving away from that phase now. but he fed us that hope, so we had hoped that this brother who looked like a brother from Chicago, was getting ready to come in, and he was getting ready to do the damn thing. He was getting ready to make some changes, in this country, to change the trajectory of what it was that we had been going through. That he was going to come in, and global blacks was excited about Obama coming in because, yes, in this corrupt country that is America, a black man coming into this corruptness, he was going to come in because the spirit of us black folks, we come in to make these changes, and he fed us change and hope. So we thought that he was going to come in and change the things. We hoped he was coming in to change, like he said he was going to do, because he was black, and us black folks, when a black man says, this is what we're going to do, this is what it is, we're going to change. We're looking for you to do that because we know that's how thorough our brothers is. But again, we wasn't on that delineation tip at that time. So we wasn't thinking along the lines of these blacks are not like us blacks. And so we didn't know that, this biracial man wasn't going to necessarily come in like the thoroughbred brothers that we were used to being around our whole entire lives. When they say they're going to do something, they do it, especially if it's within their power. And he had that power to make it happen. Global blacks is looking at it from a position of this corrupt country, America, coming into their nations and stabilizing it. Well, when this black man comes in, he's going to stop all of that foolishness. So that's going to make it better for us because he's not going to do the same thing that the white man. It's been the white man who's been running America this whole time. So this black man coming in, he's going to change that. He's not going to use us and steal our resources and do A, B, and C, and he's not going to allow our corrupt leaders to continue to be corrupt by making corrupt deals with them and A, B, and C. And it didn't go down that way. It didn't happen that way. We just had we had a chocolate colored Usopp. We had a chocolate covered Edomite in office, and we didn't understand it. Shout out to the Israelites because Obama's term is what got my husband into following the Israelites, and now my mindset is a whole lot different because of it, and I can look at it and say, okay, this is exactly what it is that we as a people here in America, us black Negro Americans need. We need a different thought process to start looking at this thing and start breaking it down, so now I get it. Now I understand that even when we say all skin folk isn't kinfolk because you know your people by your spirit. And he is not of the spirit of the Negro Americans. He got that Edomite spirit on him, and he got up there and acted like one. So, and I land on that because I got to run inside the store. But
hey, trouble. She be running her errands at nighttime, but the trouble's right though. The whole thing, and I think it was the whole thing when people talking about that. It was hope. It was hope, 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 hope. That's all we heard about was hope, hope, hope. Y'all got to remember too, man. At the time in 2008. The financial crisis, the way the actual market turned, you were kind of in a recession. You had the banks falling under. You had the auto industry falling under. And for the first time in this country, looking from the outside, it was like everybody in this country was in such a dire need of hope that for the first time in this country, white folks was looking at a black person as salvation. And that's what got a lot of black people behind Obama too. Like it was so bad in this country in terms of how things was, the economic turn was that you had white folks sitting up here like, hell, how bad can it be? Let me go ahead and we got hope. We'll vote for him as well too. And then once you start seeing the momentum pick up in this campaign, and you start seeing the pushback that he started getting from some of these from the Fox News and from the Tea Party, the GOP, all these people right here, then you know what black people always do. Black people say, well, let me go ahead and tighten up and this and that or whatever as well too. Okay, if y'all gonna throw some salt at my man right here, then we got to go ahead and we got to have his back. And that had and we talk about black people being on code. Black people was on code to the simple like, hey, we gonna do everything we can to try to get this dude up in the White House. Like when he beat Hillary Clinton, like I can't remember when Jesse Jackson first ran for president in '84, but I remember a second time in '88. I was in elementary school and he was running for president, and even in elementary school, as a young black kid, nobody in my family, a neighborhood, a community felt like Jesse Jackson had any kind of chance of actually being president of the United States. Nobody felt that. But when Obama came in 2008, and once he got past Hillary Clinton, it became like, okay, well, and then you saw who he was running against, John McCain. You're like, well, damn, John McCain is getting up there in his age. And you know, it looked like it was something real about to happen. And like I said, you had such a economic downturn in this country that people was like, hey, you know, it got to the point that even white people were desperate enough to say, hey, you know what? Let's give a black person a try right here. He can't do no work. So you're coming off of George W. Bush 2 terms as well, too. So I'm just trying to go ahead and get everybody to remember the actual, to get the actual mindset of what was going on in this country. You got wars over there, overseas in the Middle East. You got, like I say, the auto industry. You got the airline industry is in the crapper as well, too. I mean, all of them are like all the banking industry, the mortgage industry sitting up here with these prime loans and everything else, and these interest rates giving people, you know, one day somebody's paying $800 for their mortgage. 2 months, 3 months later, they're paying $2,500. Just putting people in places that they had no business even trying to go ahead and get. So the economy and everything was crap. And black people was like, and you know, when the economy, you're already at the bottom. When people talk about the Great Depression, they talk about all these the bad economic times in America. Well, yeah, the Great Depression was bad for the entire country. But you know, when white people are doing bad, you got to know that black people are doing even worse. So the hope and everything else, like Trouble saying, like I can remember, it was there, and people was like, hey, you know, let's go for it. Let's do what we can do. So that played a big part in it as well, too. You know, that played a big part in people actually believing that Obama could actually do something, resurrect and this and that or whatever. And that's all you saw on TV was hope, 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 hope and change, hope and change, hope and change, hope and change. And then you say, okay, well, hell, we hoping for this dude. And if this dude actually become the president, then this is the biggest change politically in any of our lifetimes, you know? So that's what a mindset was at. And then, like I said, when that second term ended and you saw like nothing, no kind of legislation, nothing substantial, anything for black people, because we understood that in the first term, if he was trying to do something, everybody was looking to say, okay, what you trying to do for the black folks? What you trying to do for the black folks? And then we understood that. You said, okay, well, you know, he just got in the office and he's got to worry about trying to rescue the auto industry and the mortgage industry, and he's got to push these bailouts through and everything else. Because let's remember those bailouts, all of the money that he was bailing out. And then you had people say, well, he should just let the auto industry and all of them fail, and that's the way you do it in America and this and that or whatever. So all of this stuff was going on at the time that he became president. You know, that, like I say, it was bad. You know, white people and black people I know was making jokes like, yeah, you know, it's bad when you see white folks going to soup kitchens and stuff like that. That's the mindset. That's what it was. We just assumed as black people that, hey, okay, you're going to have our back. We showed you 100% loyalty. You're going to have our back. We know that you just can't come in here and do any and everything, but man, you got to do something. And we didn't see that. But then, like I said, I know a lot of older black people, and the main thing they would say, well, he's everybody president. He ain't just black people president. That was a way of saying, you know what? He just can't do something for black people. He's got to do something for everything. And then I would always tell people too, I say, okay, well, tell me what president in the history of this country that hasn't done anything for white people. You can't be president of the United States and not do something for white people, because you won't be president for long. Yet when he got up there, I just didn't see it. Nobody said it. Nobody felt it. And I think even after he was out of the White House, a lot of black people didn't want to talk ill of him because they didn't want to soil his legacy at the time. Now he started talking about his legacy, and he started talking about electing Hillary to protect his legacy and this and that. And that's when I think it kind of struck a nerve with me. I'm like, dude, you talking about supporting your legacy and this and that or whatever. Well, what real legacy outside of being, quote unquote, the first black president in the United States that you really leave behind for us? Let me go ahead and get to No Taxation. What's up, No Taxation? How you doing? You there, No Taxation?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
Moving slow today.
Okay, we don't move too fast then.
I'm moving slow today, but because I've been moving so fast, the past few days. But anyway, I hope everybody in the room as well. Y'all are going down memory lane and running up on Obama. Obama is probably one of the top 4, I would say. Top 4, top 5 presidents in the United States in the history of presidents in the United States of America that's done the most damage to black folks. What we see is what Obama did. This is what it looks like. He was doing it all along. Him and Hillary together. The Forever War started with them. When he hired her for the State Department, y'all should have known then. If you have children age 18 and they want to go into the military, they were going to see war. They were going to see combat, period. And that's what Obama did. And so he's also the first president in the history of presidents in the United States of America that made it okay for every president to come behind him and not do a damn thing for black folks. Not even a crumb. That's why the fight is so hard now. His legacy and his history on black America has been so damaging to us that when they say his name, when you hear his name, you should spit on the floor. That's what kind of damage he did to us. He did not only did it to us, he did it to our children and you all's children. And yes, Trouble is right. I'm a boomer. We were very much enthralled with him when he came. I personally campaigned for him. Have many things over here that he has signed. Things that other people can't even get. Told him he was going to be the next president. And after year 1, I said, I'm going to give him 1 year. And I told him that in person. I said, I'll give you 1 year. But on that second year, you better be doing what you're supposed to do for us. That's what I said to him. And year 2, he didn't do anything. It was a wrap for me. I dragged him for filth after that because I knew he wasn't going to do anything. He had everything in his hands to do anything he wanted to do with black folks. He had the House, he had the Congress, he had everything. And he didn't do shit. Not one single solitary thing. Oh, except for take everything away. Every piece of minority set aside money, which was us, earmarked for us. He gave it away to the Hispanics. That's why they got it now. And they giving it to the Asians. And anybody who does black business in America will tell you that. The shit he did to us is unforgivable. It's unforgivable. And it was demonic. And Trump was right about his ass. Even if he was wrong about them 5 teenage boys that were innocent in New York City. He was right about one thing. He was right about Obama. Obama ain't shit. He's gum.
Try not to curse, sweetie, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. He's a virus on the bottom of your shoes. That's why you take your shoes off before you get in the house. That's what he is. He's filth. He's nothing to black America. And we have to rise from the ashes. From him. From him. Because when the keys were handed over and the economy flattened out, do you think he looked at black America for anything? To do anything? Not even the black banks got anything. When he bailed out them banks, he bailed out them white boys. He didn't bail out the black ones. See? So, that's what I have to say about Obama. And yes, the reason we were fooled, by the way, is we found out down the road when we found out that he was a trust fund baby. And that his grandmother was connected down there in Hawaii with the banking system. We found out that he was taking acting lessons voice lessons from somebody so that he could sound like Martin Luther King. So he came in being a hypocrite and an actor.
I just said no taxation, that he had this, and I said that just a second ago. He had this, like, whenever he got with black people, he had this.
He took lessons.
He had this Baptist minister like speech or whatever. Whenever he started talking to black people, like, man, come on now.
That's what he did. He took lessons, and if you don't believe me, you ask Judge Joe Brown. You ain't got to believe me. Ask Judge Joe Brown. And I knew when he came out against Jeremiah Wright, that was the biggest red flag for me. Because why would you do that? You sat up in that man's church and you soaked up black history because you never knew nothing about it. That's why you sat in that man's church. Because what you couldn't learn from your bougie ass wannabe wife, you had to get it out of Jeremiah Wright's church, where the people in Chicago go, the real people that know the history of Black America and fight for Black Americans in this country. Now I know why he sat in the church, so he could learn. And he didn't do nothing with Trayvon, crying and talking about it. Could have been, see, he looks like him. No, he don't. He don't look nothing like you. He looked like a child that's been shot by a grown white man. That's what he looks like.
Yes, ma'am. Real talk. I mean, like I say, I said it before. Whenever he used to start speaking, I'm like, is this dude trying to sound like Martin Luther King or Jesse Jackson? I'm like, I just heard you the night before speaking, and your entire tone and inflection and everything else was different. Now you sitting up here with black people and you trying to get a ride. Like, this ain't Sunday school. This ain't church here, man. Like, what are we doing right here?
Dude knew how to play a great orator. That was him. He was the great orator president. He knew how to get you up in church. Praise the Lord, Master.
Hey, love my folks that Obama sat in the black church the same way Kamala Harris did, to be able to say that they were there. And then Kamala Harris could take it one step further. Kamala Harris could say, you know what, that's when she started that whole sister girl thing, talking about she went to Howard and she went to HBCU and all this other stuff as well. And they started ringing it up and stuff. So, hey, people played. I mean, they playing their parts. They playing their parts.
Let me just throw this in while I got people in the room, because this has been on my mind, and I guess that's why I'm talking so low and so sharp. And drinking.
Yeah, you real low, no tax. It's kind of hard to hear you.
Yeah, because what I'm getting ready to say is breaking my heart. IAM has put a video up of somebody's post. Anyway, in Irvington, New Jersey, there's a man that raped two little boys this morning. Two little black boys. A black man that raped two little black boys, 11 years old, one 11 and one 12. He's loose. I called down there. I put the information up, and I'm telling y'all because this is important information, far more important than Obama. Anyway, I put the information up, and I called down there myself, and got, nobody answering the phone, the voicemail and stuff like that. But I learned, it was about 4:30 when I called. So I said, well, I'll try it again tomorrow. But that needs some attention, because the woman in the video, the man done snatched and choked the boy and dragged him. You see him dragging him off. And he's loose on the streets in Irvington, New Jersey. And I meant to say something to DJ earlier, but anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. Go on my timeline if you want to see it, or go to IAM. Y'all know who IAM is. I'm trying to think of her another name, but I can't think of it. Anyway, she's the one that put it up originally. Or go on Coach Friedman timeline. He did something with it too. And I'm going to leave that there.
All right. Thank you. DJ Professor, if y'all get a chance, send Rerod the actual link to the actual to the space. Send it to her DM. Because I told her that somebody would send it to her. I sent it to her, but she couldn't access it. So maybe if one of y'all can send it. Professor, you have Can you send Rerod the link?
Yeah, I can send it to him.
Okay. Brother Moku, what's going on with you tonight? How you doing?
Well, thanks. First of all, thanks for letting me speak. Newstoter, DJ, No Taxation, Professor, Trouble, everybody in the space. What's up? Can't wait to see y'all. I will say this. I do share those same sentiments of no taxation and DJ and you, everybody on stage. Obama was the do-nothing messiah. I remember the tone, like you, Newstoter, and with a little bit more detail. We didn't know who Obama was. We didn't know where he came from. We knew that he was put in place, even when he was brought in front of us. And even against my better judgment, like my brother said earlier, I voted for him the first time. And I'm going to tell you, the one thing that he showed me that really made me despicable, made me disgusted with myself, was he was the one and only, I will say the first president that bombed Africa the most by way of drone planes. And I don't know, I think a lot of people tend to forget that a lot of the tone that was going on when Obama was elected the first and second time, we was making songs, got a black president, and everybody on their best bullshit, even though his actions were showing that he wasn't doing anything for us.
Try not to curse, Brother Moku, but go ahead.
Yeah, apologies. And dang, I tried to. Apologies, too. And so I remember everybody well, not everybody, but a lot of us were in celebration mode, thinking we got a black president, and that was the answer. White supremacy was over, but that black president wasn't saying nothing about white supremacy. He wasn't saying nothing about dismantling it, and his actions surely wasn't about making sure that the victims of racism, white supremacy got the most constructive help in any way. So I say like the T-shirt that I made, like the hoodies that I made. Yeah, Obama was the do-nothing messiah, and he has a long list of crimes that he committed against victims of racism, white supremacy here in America and on the continent of Africa. Especially the way that he issued in the LGBT, he stomped heavy in the paint for that. We definitely can't forget that. He was all about the homosexuals, the sexually confused individuals, So, yeah, I just wanted to add that. He was never the answer. And I think we just have to be apologetic about doing the action of getting to the real answer, which is the system of justice, and maintaining it. Because I don't really hear a lot of people talking about putting the white supremacists behind bars and eliminating all of the offices that had everything to do with race classification. Because racism is only practiced by way of race classification. So, yeah, race classification is the crime. and I'm glad to see we get more codified on it. I look at this just like the education system that white supremacy is set up for us to be more confused by. And I just appreciate how Newstoter and DJ and Professor, how we hold in these spaces and how you break things down, and Black Alpha Network and how they're breaking down white supremacy as far as education and the culture. I think that's very important because when we're talking about getting this repair and these reparations, we're not talking about then going back operating within the system of white supremacy, thinking that we're going to get something different. So I'll land there. Thanks for letting me speak to him.
As always, glad to hear from you, Brother Moku. As always, definitely glad to hear from you. I got to read this one. I'm going to get to my man Scipio, but I got to read this comment. Extreme X says, it makes me sick to my stomach to see his face beside Malcolm X and MLK. Let me go ahead and get to Scipio. Scipio, what's going on with you tonight, bro? How you doing?
Hey, shalom, Newstoter. Shalom to everybody in the room, the co-hosts, both of them. And I'm going to answer that question, but I'm going to kind of be a contrarian when I answer the question. Yeah, Obama, with him doing nothing on his 2 terms, yeah, that's kind of, very fallible. And yes, he is a floater in a clock mode. We all understand that. But I don't think the delineation, it started with him, because if you remember, all of us, me included, we were still trying to go ahead and stomp hard for Pan-Africanism on some type of degree. And everybody, that weren't FBA, Black Americans, and were of those, multicolored Skittles and Starburst community, they were proud to hold up their flag and band together against us. Nowadays, all of a sudden, if you fast forward to 2024, all of these island boys and those from the continent and the girls, they're all tucking their tails now. They're tucking their flags in. Kind of like, the Crips and the Bloods. If you go into an ops neighborhood, and if you're scared, you're tucking your flag. That's what a lot of these people within the diaspora are doing now. Now they want to cause bears us. So I think it kind of started with us. We just kind of got tired of them. Yeah, you could throw Obama in the mix if you want to, because like the brother before said, Obama was all about that. I don't want to say the letters because I don't want to get your channel hit by the algo, but you know what I mean, the XYZ.
We know.
The alphabet.
We know. We know.
They were hit by them. So yeah, the thing I have to say is that we just have to keep our course, because it's not about one person. I would never give a piece of trash like Obama that much sway and influence to say that he caused an entire lineage of people to step back and retool how we do things. No, he was a part of it. He was a part of that machine, but it was more or less other people on the ground that we thought were riding with us, that were going around, not identifying with us. No, I am Haitian, and I'm sorry if I hit anyone, but I just have to tell the truth and shame the devil. No, I'm Nigerian. No, I'm Trinidadian. No, I'm this, I'm that. You're anything but FBA or Black American or freedman. But ever since we, and I'll even put a year on it, 2019. Ever since we started putting a value on our blackness, and we started separating. Okay, no, we are from the soil. We are from the American soil. We are from the Harriet Tubmans and the Sojourner Truths. We are from the families of those great queens, our ancestors. We are not anyone else, any of your other riders, your Dessalines or your Toussaint Louvertures. we are not of them. You know, the Haitians and whoever else in those islands are of them. And once we started separating, that's when everybody else wanted to start, you know, getting on this bandwagon of, well, my ancestors are from here, but I was born here. So that makes me FBA, right? All of a sudden now you want to be FBA just because you're born here as an anchor baby. So no, I'm not going to credit Obama for starting the delineation process against Pan-Africanism. There are a whole lot of people, we can include him in that, but there are a whole lot of people that we have to hold their feet to the fire, you know, and hold them accountable and let them know, put a spotlight on them and say that you're part of why we're doing what we're doing too. And I don't know if it was you, Newstoter, or if it was somebody else, but I read a tweet today that ticked me the heck off, and it was about they were playing the music by Big Pun, saying that these other Afro-Latinos had a hand in hip-hop and don't force their brown fist or something like that. I'm not going to mess up your Jumbotron and look for it and put it in there. But my response to that was, okay, keep going that list, because now that you just named another people that we did have respect for and roll with, but now we're going to go ahead and have to delineate from them and call them out. So come on, keep feeding us this information, because we'll put all y'all on that 7 Jam screen. And then, you know, they reported me. Gladly I haven't got hit yet. But no, what we need to do is just keep doing what we're doing, Newstoter, and whoever's not subscribed to him, I mean, you know, please support this man. Let's grow his paper, because I want to get something to where I'm getting something emailed to me about every week that you're coming up with. You know, I mean, you know, the post you're putting up pretty intriguing. I'm thinking about myself expanding my subscription with you and probably seeing if I could get some kind of newsletter, you know, directly for me, you know, so I could just stay that much more informed. But I'm not going to continue a monologue. Yeah, y'all just, you know, let's, you know, support Black. Let's buy Black. When I say Black, I mean FBA free, Black American. Let's stand on our square. And, you know, let's expand this Black street, and let's continue this groundswell. And I land there. Shalom.
As always, Sippy, I appreciate the support that you always show. So we definitely I do got a newsletter, but I've fallen off on it. I'll be honest. We was doing a newsletter last year, but I need to get back on it. But that's why I try to tell everybody just to go to the site, man, because there's so much content that even in the newsletter we can't put it all out there. Just visit the site and surf on the site, man, and you guys will connect you. We'll connect you to other Black-owned content sites, news sites, and everything else as well too. So we're gonna put the content out on social media as well. But we're trying to get people to actually go to the site, man, and just go ahead. And that's why we're trying to get we're trying to haven't been drumming that support really to try to get some new subscribers to the actual platform. But I'm going to start that back out as well too, trying to get people to subscribe, because once you have a base, an actual base, you can actually start doing things. We're trying to grow that base. We're not there yet. But once you have an actual base, a lot of the content that we putting out, there's a lot of stuff that we're putting out, man, that could really, really reach the masses if we just had a larger group as well too. So we're gonna keep doing what we got to do, man. We're gonna keep pushing it as much as possible. And I definitely support everybody that's coming up in here and showing love and supporting these spaces and the content on YouTube and the actual site as well too, guys. So just continue to go ahead and share the content out there. Support Black Majority State and fund it socially as well too, guys. Support the Black-owned platform. That's what we got, a bunch of Black-owned newspapers on our site. By going there and clicking through the articles, you'll actually go to these sites. You'll go to the San Francisco Bay View. You'll go to the Atlanta Voice. You'll go to the Kansas City Defender. You'll go to the Sacramento Observer, Black-owned sites. You'll go to, if you want entertainment, you'll go to Black Sports Online. You'll go to a number of sites, even Hip Hop DX, which is not Black-owned, but still they're a curation partner. They do hip-hop and stuff. You'll go to sites and stuff like that. And this site here is 100% Black American-owned as well, Black American-owned, operated, managed. So thank you as always. I appreciate that. Thank you to Thias as well, too, for the contribution on Cash App. Do we got Black Pressure been up here? But Black Pressure ain't said nothing. Pressure, you up here? What's up, man? I got you up here. Avenger, he spoke. I'm trying to get Pressure up here. Pressure probably in the gym, man, working out or something late night.
I'm just listening, vibing on everybody.
Okay, because you was up here for a minute. I thought you was gonna speak, and I'm like, well, damn, Pressure done went down.
Like y'all pretty much covered everything I was gonna say. Everybody, culminated together, and y'all took all my talking points. So I just laid back and listened.
Okay, that's real. That's real. DeVoe, I see you up here. Do you want to say anything, DeVoe? Are you good? I know DeVoe is still up here, but you want to speak, we can definitely get you up in here. We had like I say, and I had to stop this space early and start it back because the actual connection was just crap. Professor could tell you we had people coming in and out, in and out, in and out. My sister Rerod, she ain't been able to come up in the space in a minute. She was up in it, and I DM'd her the link, and DJ he tagged her on the post for the actual space, but my girl, she wasn't able to get up in here tonight, so hopefully
I DM'd the link, man, so I don't know.
Well, she showed me, she took a screenshot, and when she shows it, it's like, I don't know what the hell Twitter's doing, the X or whatever this crap is, but she showed me a screenshot, and it doesn't even show the space on there, like, so it, you know how they, I don't know, man. I'd said it before, like a lot of the black content creators on X and these other social media platforms, even YouTube be screwing me with the views and stuff like that too. Like they really got us under a microscope. They really don't want us to to put out too much information. People be crying, and I've had people cry and whine about the titles of the actual the spaces and stuff like that. So, that's why I say, as black people, we have to get our own base. We got to get our own media. We got to get our own entertainment, television, schools, you name it. We got to start getting our own stuff, man. We can't depend on these people right here. These people want to keep us underneath their thumb and powerless. And until we get our own stuff, we're going to continually, I'm shadow banned on YouTube. Shadow ban a lot of the stuff I'm posting. I don't even post as much on X as I used to, because I'm like, well, damn, they banned them. Okay, we got my girl Rera up here now. I see her up here. So shout out to Rera. I'm glad this sister finally. We kept trying to get you up here, Ree, but I'm glad you up here. So shout out to my girl Rera. I'm so glad, and shout out to Rera. She just subscribed also to the actual membership here on X, on Twitter/X. So we got her as a subscriber. So shout out to my girl Rera as well too. Pressure, go ahead. You got your hand up. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Lewis, to everybody, if you hadn't done it yet, go back to YouTube, and I think it was Sunday, and listen to that last Jason Black, man. He went nuclear on that. So yeah, check that out if y'all haven't checked it out yet.
What, he went nuclear on how they was shadow banning people?
No. What he did, he kind of, him and Tariq kind of be on the same thing, like talking about delineation and talking about how the black immigrants come, with the little false narrative, like, oh, black Americans need us, and if it wasn't for us, and this and that. So what he did, he told everybody, he was like, okay, y'all, look, do this, get your phones out. And he was like, Google the GDP of Nigeria, then Google the GDP of Atlanta, and check it out. You'll do yourself a favor if you check it out for real.
I gotta see that one, because
That's Black State information. You're welcome.
Yeah, I gotta see that one. But shout out,
check it out. I can't think of the name of it, but it was the one he did Sunday, not Saturday. The last one he did.
Yeah, I gotta check that one out, definitely. Scipio, go ahead, you got it.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna kind of add maybe a possible explanation, because I've been noticing, and I guess that's why I've kind of like shied away from YouTube a little bit, because of the shadow ban. But see what they're doing, and I didn't know this because you've obviously been to college. Many of us have been to college, and you know how you have that certain class, and it's typically some kind of specialty class that you get, where your dumbass professor was, excuse me, pardon my language, I'm sorry, but where your professor would tell you that they
dumbass professor, don't be doing that.
But they'll tell you that they came up with a solution, and it's a solid solution or workable answer. But they won't name the source. They'll call that source the Q. So, and the Q is a very nebulous thing. It's typically somewhere where they went, whether it's their homeboy or plagiarism, whatever. They got the information. What they're doing, my point is, what they're doing, especially to the new black media on YouTube, is they're shadow banning and they're having agents, who happen to be content creators, go figure. So you will see that on YouTube, you might have 1,500 views, let's say, and you put out some good content, you're dropping some gems, but you can't understand why you only have 1,500 views, maybe 700 people in your YouTube live. However, another person you might run across who's dropping the same exact content that you dropped maybe 2 or 3 days ago, and yet they have 20,000 views, 100,000 likes, and they're talking about the same stuff that you're talking about. Maybe remixing it just a little bit and trying to make it sound like it's something that came out of their head because they're normally the best, the W's that's doing this BS. And, my point is that we are their cue because they're coming in, spying, just sitting back and messing with the algorithm, probably doing some stuff to knock the views down to keep it at shadow ban, and then going and creating their own content and getting mega hits for it off of, something that someone from the new black media may have done.
That's real talk. And even when these spaces, because I'll be streaming it off of StreamYard, and there's been times live that I've had a few hundred people up in the actual spaces. Well, right after the space in, and you go look at the YouTube views, the thing will have like 20 people was in the space. I'm like, man, what the hell are y'all talking about? No damn 20 people was up in this watching this thing on no YouTube. So, and then it'll take a day or two for them to actually get it straight. Or they'll if you have a video that actually does well and that actually does get monetized, they'll make sure that because most of the views come in the first couple of days, they'll make sure they have it reviewed, where they have to review it where you can't actually earn anything. And then finally, once you stop getting views, and they'll say, okay, well, your video has been approved, and all kind of stuff. So it's a racket. It's really a racket. Like everybody knows, everybody says. That's why hopefully we can get our own people to come up and create their own YouTube and X and everything else as well too, so we can get off of these Peckerwood platforms and actually go ahead and create and do our own thing. Because as long as we're underneath these people's thumb, they're going to continue to rule us. So we really need to go ahead and start doing our own thing and kind of go ahead and get away from all of this, from all of this right here. Now, Rerod, sweetie, I know, because we don't keep the space going open too long, but I know it was a issue trying to get you up here, so I'm glad to get you up here. I want to see if you want to say anything real quick. It don't have to be a whole lot, but I'm glad to finally get you, because you was up in the first space that I had to shut down because everybody kept disappearing. So I thought once we got it straight, you would be back up in here. But is there anything you want to say, Rerod? I know you like to chill a lot of times, but I just want to go ahead and, because I know you were trying to get in for the longest. Is there anything you want to say?
Hey, yeah, thanks, Newstoter, for allowing me to speak. And peace and blessings to the family. Love you guys. It's been a while since I spoke. I went ahead and subscribed so that I wouldn't have this issue again. So hopefully that'll make it better. But DJ sent me some tips in the back that helped. I had to restart my phone and then clear the cache in my settings or something. So it all worked out. But as far as the topic, I don't want to, because I couldn't hear everybody else's submissions, but I just wanted to say I feel like he did, because I was really, really happy when Obama got into presidency. I mean, I cried. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I cried. I voted for him all 8 years. It felt like the right thing to do at the time, and after he didn't do anything for us, and then he turned his nose up at us, And just him coming on to other people's platforms, not Donald Trump, but Biden's platform, talking about Pookie and Ray Ray again, and just all of the insults, the microaggressions that he shows us. I'm sick of that, and seeing that, it was kind of like exactly what the motherland does to us as well. It's a lot of microaggressions. It's a lot of, we'll try. Just make sure you help us, but we'll try to do what we can do for you, And if we can't, don't worry about it because you guys aren't used to having it, So it's just very callous and disrespectful. So we got a crazy summer about to go down this year. I know everybody can feel it, and we have a crazy 2025 coming up. So let's just buckle down and stick together, and get through this. And I'll land there. Thank you once again for allowing me to speak.
No problem. And I think he also Obama.
Hey, I was gonna say, man, I didn't know Obama spoke on Pookie and Ray Ray. Now that's a new one. That's a new one.
Pookie and Ray Ray. The crazy thing too is that Love My Folks. She said it earlier on YouTube that I think that Obama also with the whole label of being a community organizer as well too. People thought, okay, well, this is somebody who actually works with the common folk and actually cares about their actual their day to day. So I think that was something that struck a chord. Of course, him being black and a senator and all of that as well too. But people thinking, okay, well, he's coming from common ground, and and he left Harvard or whatever to go up here and to work with the common folk in Chicago and everything else like that. And then I think that really, that struck a chord with a lot of black people in the country, and you felt like, well, hey, this is somebody that actually genuinely cares about the little man. This is somebody that's actually gonna do something when they get in the office. So I think that was something else with Obama that a lot of people, including myself, like I said, because I don't shy away from when Obama was running for office or whatever. I felt a kinship, and I was like, okay, well, this cat, he actually cares, and he's gonna be this, he's gonna be that, and hey, I was wrong. I mean, no two ways about it. I was wrong about exactly the trajectory of how his actual presidency went.
Well, just if I could interject about the Pookie thing, he ran on that platform back in 2007, 2008, when he was talking about go get your mama, your daddy, and your cousin Pookie. So the sister, she not lying. He's been doing that for a minute.
So he actually said the term Pookie. That's what I'm trying to understand. I don't remember.
I promise you, he said, like when he said go get your cousin Pookie, the crowd that was there in attendance exploded. I mean, your favorite basketball team or football team may as well have just scored the winning touchdown of the Super Bowl. I mean, that's how crazy it was when he said that. So she's not lying.
Yeah, I think he was talking about a different type of Pookie, because that ain't gonna be the Kevin Samuels type of Pookie. Yeah, these women coming up in here, they talking about that other Pookie where Kevin Samuels was talking about. So that's a different one he's talking about.
He's talking about you say you have a ghetto cousin. It's all of us.
Yeah, there's only one kind of Pookie.
You know who Ray Ray is. They're the ones who, they on the street selling, maybe not, but just making mistakes and just doing whatever, that Pookie and Ray Ray. But I just find it insulting. You know what I mean? I find that as insulting as get your booty to the pole. I found it as insulting as no fucking no vote. I just feel like all of the pandering that they do to us is really insulting. It's just downright insulting. They can talk to us like normal people. They're throwing a lot of insults, and they're not giving us anything in return for the insults either. You know what I mean? They're not like, get your booty to the pole so we can get to talk about these reparations. It's just insult after insult without anything real, anything of value. So that's all.
Hey, why don't y'all also, sorry to jump in there, but if anyone's interested, because I put my money where my mouth is. Ask anyone in the black media about Sepia or any of my other pseudonyms I use on other social sites, social media sites. I put my money where my mouth is. I support my black media. I support the movements that we do. I buy black. But my point is that right now we are in a movement to get the NAACP shut completely down, or at least get their luxurious tax exempt status removed, for some of the BS that they pull against us. So I'm not gonna, hail out nobody's name on somebody else's platform because that's just me. I don't, I just don't do that. But if y'all, get in these on the black street, you will see the petition. I encourage everybody to chip in, sign, spread the word. Let's go ahead and, shake the trees. Let this rotten fruit fall and smush on the floor.
Real talk, real talk. Thank you, Scipia, as well. So, guys, I guess does anybody else want to speak before we get ready to close this thing out for the night?
Yeah, let me go and get it in real quick. So, yeah, Obama, I voted for you twice, so I can say what I'm going to say right now. So, don't forget, he did black men specifically the worst when he got elected during his second term. And black men specifically stepped to him and said, hey, you're not doing nothing for these black boys out here that's getting killed. And he didn't really acted like he needed to respond to it until Trayvon got killed. You see that? So then he started the My Brother's Keeper initiative. But how many black boys do y'all know from y'all neck of the woods that actually is in that program? Or know anyone that has graduated from that program? And not to say it's bad or anything, it's needed. It was needed. But why do we have to come to you in that way, Obama, and say, hey, you need to start something for black kids, black boys specifically, because you're a man. You know what I'm saying? And you're saying, Trayvon, that could have been my son. Well, you ain't never treat none of these black young kids as a son, nephew, little bro, you know what I'm saying, little homie. But you always want to bring up Pookie and all this other stuff that don't mean nothing to us. You know what I'm saying? That's just jokes and how we communicate with each other. But this is the whole narrative of delineation, segregation, and pretty much staying away from the tetherknackers, man. Now we see it. You know what I'm saying? And when they see us, it's really just jealousy, because they not us. There you go.
All righty. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and close things out, guys. So we will see you. Everybody have a good night. Peace. Be safe.
Ski next space. Peace.
Yep. DJ got another space coming up. So definitely go ahead and attend that, guys. So peace. Be safe. Peace to everybody on YouTube as well.
Ayos mañana. Oh, coming up. It's too late for that.